Let's get to read on all of this now from former acting ICE director and former U.S. Border Patrol Chief Ron Vitiello. Ron, just this notion that Magnus is pushing back as hard as he is. I saw a quote where he says to Mayorkas, "I expressed to him that I felt there was no justification for me to resign when I still cared deeply about the work I was doing and felt that the work was focused on the things I was hired to do in the first place." That last part of the sentence is interesting. I mean, because maybe he is doing the bidding of the White House. This is a White House that really has rolled out the red carpet, for unlimited migration through the southern borders. And is he just the fall guy here?
It remains to be seen. I mean, let's think about why he's there, Charles. He's a progressive police chief who was very critical of the previous administration and their border policy, and was on the record in a number of places saying that he didn't want to cooperate local authorities with ICE. So he's on record saying that he wants to continue to have an immigration system that's broken. If you don't have a credible immigration system, how are you going to control the border? And how has he done since he's been there? We are in the worst surge along the southwest border for illegal immigration in the history of the country. We have 60,000 Americans dying every year from opioid overdose. So that's not a coincidence, right? We have this uncontrolled flow at the border, and we have people dying all over the country, hundreds a week.
Right.
And what's his public face to the rest of us? You know, as far as I can tell, his largest press conference in front of the American people was on a fake news story about Horse Patrol agents in Del Rio who were accused of a crime that they did not commit. That's his public face. So that's what the workforce sees. That's what the rest of us have seen. How about a 40-minute press conference about how he's going to secure the border? And by the way, he serves at the pleasure of the president. A cabinet secretary has asked him to step down. For whatever reason, whatever the justification, he serves at the pleasure of the president.
Sure.
We're not talking about the border here. We're not talking about the men and women of CBP who took an oath and are dedicated to securing the border. We're now being distracted by rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. We have a terrible crisis going on at the border, and we're talking about who the leader at CBP is going to be. The workforce deserves better than this. And again,
Ron, let me jump in here for a moment. Can the workforce expect better? Because to your point, in December 2017, he published a New York Times op-ed very critical of Donald Trump and Jeff Sessions with respect to sanctuary cities, saying that complicated police forces. This was the ideal guy for the administration, right? He checked all their immigration boxes. So should the folks at the Border Patrol brace for someone even further to the left, or is this just for public consumption that nothing really will change?
The policy at the border is all wrong. Yeah, so there is a danger, right? This is part of the distraction. People on men and women at CBP that have taken an oath, they want action. They don't need this distraction. We need a plan for the border. We need to secure that border, and he has failed to do it. I'm sure he's not setting the policy. This administration ripped up all of the tools that we had before they took over. Now, again, we're seeing the worst thing we've ever seen, and now we're talking about who the commissioner is going to be instead of what the plans are to secure the U.S. border.
Is there any hope, though, that this will change? I mean, this has been a prominent piece of news. Obviously, it had impact with the elections. And this administration has had a tin error the whole time. I mean, I honestly believe this has to be what they want to see. This has to be fulfilling some sort of progressive dream of open borders and people flooding through.
Yeah, well, the workforce definitely deserves better. Our country deserves better. Think about the celebration today for all of our veterans. And here we are with a border that's out of control. But yeah, they went out and gave everything to protect us. And now look what we're doing at our own southwest border.
I agree. Ron, thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.